the next hour, maybe we'll go longer than an hour. Let's see, who knows? Things are going to go crazy within the next hour. I am here for all of you guys because this is probably 3 weeks ago. I made a poll in this group. I made a poll on my Instagram. And the number one thing a lot of people needed support with right now was sales. Either lack of sales, they see a dip, or they do have sales and they want more sales coming into their business. So that is one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this masterclass. Once again, I called it like informal but informative because I don't have slides. I have a lot of notes though, as you can see, because I'm like, there's so much I want to cover when it comes to sales. But it's super informal. Like if you guys have questions as I'm talking, drop it into the chat. Like honestly, let me know what you're experiencing right now in your business, because I want you guys once again to walk away knowing what to do in your business and feeling like, once again, you're that badass fucking business owner who takes names, who makes sales, who just like literally makes shit happen. Okay. So Basma, good to see you here live from Maryland. I love it. I love it. So first thing I want to ask you guys, actually, I want to get a feel of the room. I want to get a feel of where you guys are at right now. Let me know in the comments. And once again, this is like literally no judgment zone at all whatsoever. We're all here to grow. And this is all just like data collection. Doesn't matter where you're at right now, but let me know in the comments. Are you person A or person B right now? Person A is you're experiencing a dip. It's either like sales have plateaued, sales have like gone like this. You're kind of in a funk right now when it comes to sales. Are you person A? If you're person A, just put it into the chat. Or are you person B? You're like, okay, sales is happening, but I want more. Right? Sales is happening, but I want more. Like I'm not really experiencing a dip. I'm not really in a funk right now, but I want more. If you're person B, drop it below. And a lot of people that I have talked to recently, they're either like in A or it's like a combination of A/B. A, B, B. So sales are coming in, but you want more. Some people, they're experiencing a dip. B, okay, cool. So it doesn't matter whether you're A or B, because everything I'm gonna cover today, it's going to help you basically make more sales, right? That's the entire intention. So when I was writing down the notes for this masterclass, I'm like, what do I actually want to talk about? What do I actually want to talk about? When I think of sales, it's not just strategy. Yes, there has to be strategy when it comes to sales. Otherwise, you're not going to be making money in your business, or you're not going to be bringing in volume of clients in your business. But honestly, for me personally, and let me know in the comments if you feel this too, I believe sales is very energetic. Because something I always say, if you guys are in this group, you've probably heard it from me a million times. Money is not real. There's no real tangible value to the dollar bill. So when I hear people say sales has dipped, nobody is buying, or I want more people buying, my mind immediately goes to, are you out of alignment with the health and relationship with your business and sales? Or do you just not have focus when it comes to sales right now? So the two things I'm going to focus on is, yes, the strategy when it comes to sales, but we're also going to touch on the energetics, mindset, and leadership when it comes to sales. So a few things right now, and I'm going to touch on whether you're experiencing low sales or you just want like more sales coming in, is first of all, understanding and realizing why sales are not flowing in. And I'm actually curious to know the people that commented and said, I'm making sales, but I want more. I did Empire Creator Live yesterday, and I touched on this a little bit. And I said, have you plateaued in your business right now? Is like, are you just like steadily making the same sales every single month? And you're like, okay, I'm making sales, but I want more. Or are you exponentially growing and you continually want to scale? So I'm just curious, have you maintained or do you want to keep scaling? Because yes, those are two very different things. And it's going to give you more context on how I can basically say the things I want to say in this masterclass. So a few things. If sales are not coming in right now, it's basically there is like a dip, or there's a season right now in your business where sales might be low. So sometimes people will think sales need to be at an all-time high every single month in your business. That is not the case at all whatsoever. That is just like business on its own. There's always going to be like ebbs and flows when it comes to business. Like when I first got started, I'm like, ooh, every single month I want to grow and scale, which yes is possible. But if you look at it over the course of maybe just 3 months and you're like, ooh, I've seen kind of a dip in sales, that doesn't always necessarily mean there's something wrong with you or the business. Of course, there can always be refinement when it comes to strategy, but it doesn't always mean there's something wrong. Okay. Second thing that you want to also take into consideration, because I've had so many people say, I'm experiencing a lack of sales, or I've maintained and I want to scale. And they tell me they changed their business model or they changed what they're selling. This is how I look at it. If you have specifically built your business in a way that makes you 6 figures of income a year, or multiple 6 figures, or even like 5 figures a year, doesn't matter what it is. And then all of a sudden you change the way that you sell, or you change the offers that you're selling, or you change just like your business model on its own. And then for the first 3 to 6 months, you're like, there isn't the sales coming in. Immediately people freak out. The way I look at it is, if you are changing different things in your business, especially in your sales process, you need to give it time for it to actually like play out and actually adapt and adopt into your actual business. Okay, so the reason why I'm pointing all of these things out is because people freak out when there's like no sales coming in, or there's like a dip in sales. So these are some things that you want to bring awareness to, especially if this is happening in your business right now. And then the last two, if sales aren't coming in, is you're either not like focused on sales coming in. And this sounds like so like dumb almost, but it's like, if you're focusing on different areas of the business, like maybe you're hiring, or maybe you're focused more on marketing and content, and sales have taken like a dip, that might be why, because your focus isn't actually in making sales, right? How many times have you told yourself like, oh, I want to make more sales, I want more people coming in, but you don't even have a plan to get those people into the door? Let me know in the comments if that might be you. That's me. Yeah. And Marlissa said, keep scaling, but starting to bring in clients and revenue. Yeah. So before I go into the strategy and what you want to do, actually, before I get into everything else, I see we have 11 people watching. I'm actually curious to know, give me your situation right now in the comments. And like what I said, this is like, I want this to be really interactive, because I don't want to just sit here for the next 45 minutes and like spew gold, even though I can riff on sales literally all day long, but I want it to be really valuable for where you're at right now. So whether it's like 1 sentence, 2 sentences, let me know actually why you're even on this masterclass right now. Like, what do you want to get out of it? What are you experiencing in your business right now? And like, what is your intention? What is your goal? Just let me know in like 1 to 2 sentences in the chat. So that way, once again, I can speak to where you're at right now. Now, as you guys doing that, I'm like choking on my spit. I want to touch on, if you are experiencing a dip in sales or it's plateaued, this is what is actually happening in your business, and this is what is like not happening. Okay. What's actually happening and what's not happening. Let's first start with what's not happening. Now, there was a season in my business where if I saw a dip in sales, if I didn't see new clients coming in every single week, I would literally go in panic mode. You too? Let me know. I would go into panic mode. I remember this was in 2021. It was around like February. Actually, no, it wasn't around. It was like around like March. I experienced a dip in my business. And when I say dip, it wasn't even like a dip. It was maybe for like 2 weeks. I was like, people aren't buying. There's nobody new coming in. Like, what is happening? Like, I would have like a full body experience of, Nobody is buying. Is there something wrong? Nobody is buying. Is there something wrong? Do people hate me? Am I going to fail? Is this going to keep happening? Like all of the terrible thoughts would literally flush through my mind. So first of all, that was not reality because there are certain things that I was pivoting, which is why I experienced a dip back then. But what a lot of people don't bring awareness and context to when they experience this in their business is their mind immediately goes to, my business is going to fail. This isn't like, this is what's not happening in your business when it comes to lack of sales or not enough sales that you want to see. My business is going to fail. People are going to hate me. I'm not going to reach my goal. It's never going to work. Maybe like you're thinking about it's too late. Maybe I like missed the boat when it came to getting reach on TikTok and making a lot of money on there. Maybe I missed the boat when it came to starting a podcast show. Like your mind will literally think of all of the reasons why you did not make the amount of sales that you wanted that month. And all of the reasons why you were not worthy enough to make the sales. That is not what happens when you don't make the sales that you want in your business. That's not what actually happens. We might genuinely feel like that's what's happening, but it's actually not. Now, what is actually happening is, first of all, there might be something off when it comes to your strategy in sales. Okay, because I've worked with a lot of clients and I have talked to a lot of people and seen where people have plateaued in their business, like for even like 6 months to a year, they're stuck at like 10K months, or they're stuck at 5K months, or they're stuck at 20K months, and they just can't get over kind of that like that lump, that bump, that hump. They just can't get over that. Okay. And a lot of the times when I look at that, it has to do with strategy. Because if you're making money in your business right now and you're signing on clients, it's because you are doing something that's working, but you want to take a match and light a fire under the ass, under the strategy, and you want to make it just like skyrocket. Okay. So it's basically amplifying the strategy that you're doing already right now. So what is also actually happening is if you're experiencing a lack in sales or not enough sales are coming in, your energy and your mood is not aligned to receive. Your energy and mood is not aligned to receive. What do I mean by this? And I like to feel this in my body. And you guys know what I'm about to say, and you guys know this experience because you've probably experienced this before, is in the morning or during the day, you feel kind of this like full body butterfly. It's kind of like butterflies going through your body, or like a sense of anxiety or a sense of like pressure. It's like you show up and like you're kind of excited to do the action, or you're like kind of excited to sell, but then there's like this like, ugh. But I'm actually not. It's like I'm putting on this facade that I want to, because as we know, you have to be high vibe in order to receive money all the time. But deep down, you're like, ugh. If you feel that way, it doesn't matter how much you try to put on a happy face, you're still not going to be able to receive, because deep down there is a mismatch and unalignment of you receiving money, because you either feel not ready to scale, you feel unworthy to receive more money, you're afraid you're not going to keep up with the expectations as you scale, you still doubt that maybe, just maybe, the market's a little too saturated and a lot of people are already successful. Why should I? Like, am I actually cut out to be successful? Or the thoughts of, I've been doing it so long, why hasn't it worked for me? It's like all of those limiting beliefs, they might not be consciously in your mind every single day, but subconsciously they're there. So when you actually go out and sell, when you actually go and start to create content with your messaging, there is always kind of that imposter syndrome that's happening in your body and yourself. Give me one sec, guys. Of course, this is so funny. Just like side note, I laugh. And oh, I hope I'm not frozen now. Okay, no, I'm not. I just laugh because every time I do a masterclass or a training or something, Andy, my boyfriend, starts to literally listen to videos on the like max volume. I know he doesn't do it on purpose, but it's like I start to hear all of this like music in the background. I'm like, what is going on? And then of course it distracts me, but I just had to tell him to like turn it the fuck down. But anyways, like what I was saying is when you're not in that like aligned receiving energy, consciously or subconsciously, like you do repel what you actually want into your life. And then what is actually happening in the business is, once again, like what I said earlier, there might actually be a dip, because just in business there are seasons that you make lower amount of money. And then the last thing I want to touch on before I go into strategy of sales and what I want to cover is what is actually happening. There might be a shift in the market in the way people are buying. When January rolled around, I saw this shift in the market. Let me know in the comments if you saw this shift too, where people, honestly, what I saw was people were not buying the same way that they were buying last year, or even in like 2021. People were not buying the same way that they bought last year. And what I mean by this is, I feel like there was a season in the industry where people were just like buying like this, like this, like this, like this, from a lot of different coaches, because what they were forwardly selling was results. Like basically the vehicle for anybody to sell something was, I got this result by, I got this result by, I got this result by. And of course, everybody was like, oh my gosh, I want the result too, let me buy. The minute 2023 came around, people were like, oh, it's not just about the result, because she got that result, he got this different result. If they're implementing the same strategy, it's not just the result, but it's the person who actually gets the result. So people started to actually still buy, not slow down when it came to buying, but take more time to actually make a connection with the brand and the business they actually want to stick with and stay with. Like it wasn't just, once again, buying from results. It was buying from like a real person, a real individual. And I'm the first to say, there was a season where I did the same thing. And this is probably, honestly, this is in like in the beginning of like 2021, where I was kind of like, I was investing into a lot of different people. I'm like, ooh, like, what is this? I want to learn. I want to learn. And it was coming from a place of, yes, I want to learn. And yes, there was things that I constantly needed support with, but it was coming from a place of, I feel like I'm missing something, that if I join this one program or I invest into this one mentor, then I'm going to solve all my problems. The reason why I bring this up is because, are you selling your products and offers in a way as, if you join this one product or if you join this thing, like you will solve your problem like that? If you right now are selling your product in a way where you're only focused on the result and you're only focused on like the product features, that might be a really big reason why people are not buying. Because once again, like the way people are buying is a little bit different now. Okay. So let me look at the comments, and then I want to start getting into strategy. Okay, and we're already 30 minutes in. We're probably going to go a little bit over. So if you guys can stay, that will be amazing. And also, once again, like what I said, I'll be answering questions too. So if you guys do have to jump off at any time and you have a question, just drop it into the chat and I will get to it. So let's see what a few people are experiencing. Marlissa, gain more clients through content Boss, I'm restructuring my offers and changing my content messaging. I want to be able to communicate a clear message enrolling clients. I feel like I have, Kimberly, I feel like I have valuable education content to share, but I need more traffic. Maybe I'm not visible enough. All my sales come from personally reaching out. Hello, Melissa. Okay. Tatanisha, I love that name. It's so beautiful. It's such a unique name. I'm actually a beauty content creator that's looking to start coaching business. I've been trying to attend as many masterclasses as I can. I found a lack in the industry I'm hoping to fill. The goal is bringing together content creation, manifestation. I love it. I love how there's like such a diverse group right now. So let's get into like the strategy and what to look at when it first comes into sales. Now, there's 3 M's. And if you guys know me, I love like the acronyms. There's 3 M's that we're going to go through when it comes to like sales strategy. The first M is map. Okay. Are you actually right now taking the time to map out your sales strategy? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. And once again, it doesn't matter, you know, good, bad, right, or wrong. Just let me know. Are you doing it or not? Are you actually taking the time to map out your sales strategy? And what I mean by this is, do you know when you're going to be launching or talking about one of your offers in April? Do you know when maybe prices are going to increase? Do you know when you might be hosting a free masterclass? Do you know when to launch like your next offer? Do you know when to start sending emails? Like, do you actually know what is happening in your business? Or are you waking up every week and you're like, okay, what should I do to get more people into my offers? So there's kind of, so yes, I think, no, I haven't done it in a while. Yes, but guidance would be appreciated on how you structure all of that. So when it comes to the map and when it comes to understanding your sales process, I'm going to say there is no golden launch or sales strategy. Like if I tell you to do this, and this, and I am going to give you a structure that you can turn around and implement today to increase your sales here in a little bit, but there is no golden structure to it. But you do want to have an intention going into every single week. Now, the typical way people usually sell is through launches, whether you're doing a launch for a new offer, you're relaunching an evergreen, or maybe you're doing a launch with like a masterclass. Now, the first thing I always tell my clients is, if you feel like there's a lack of sales or not enough sales are coming in, focus more on the actual input and the intention you're putting behind the strategy itself. So right now, if let's say it's April is coming up, April 1st is on Saturday. I know a lot of people Monday morning on April 3rd are going to be launching something. Okay. It's a brand new month. And you're going to be like, ooh, like this is going to be a new launch for a new offer. Okay. And I bet some of you guys are going to be doing it too, which is really exciting. Now, going into it, first of all, you want to ask yourself, do I have like a plan in terms of the type of content I'm creating? Do I have a plan in terms of connecting with my audience? Do I have a plan in terms of like actually for like having urgency for people to buy now? Do I have a plan of maybe if you have an email list, like sending emails to your email list? Now for me, I'll kind of just walk you guys through like my like simple like sales strategy. If I'm not doing a launch, I usually have an intention and focus that I focus on every single week to sell something. So this week, it is the week before April. Now, the main thing that I'm selling forwardly in my audience is monetized social membership, which is basically my monthly membership for online entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches, X, Y, and Z who want to grow their social media and sign on clients every single fucking day. Have to add that in there every single fucking day. So right now, my intention for this week is let me sell and talk about the masterclass for the theme that's happening in April, which is all about content, celebrity content that converts. So for me, although I'm not doing a full-blown launch for my membership, I have a focus and I have a topic that I'm intentionally talking about over and over and over again in order to get people to join the membership. So for you, whether it's a launch or you're just wanting to get more people into the offer, are you right now talking about the same way that you've been talking about it for the past like 4 months? If you're doing it the same way and people aren't buying, that's probably why. Okay. And I'm jumping ahead of myself because the third M is messaging, but it all kind of goes hand in hand. It's like, are you saying it the exact way you've been saying it for the past few weeks? If so, like people are bored and they don't know why they should join. So that is one of the examples that I do is I have an intention every single week. And it could be around a topic. It could be around urgency. It could be around bonuses. It could be around pricing. It could be around support. It could be around an experience that happened to you. And for like the next 4 days, you talk about that experience and you tie it together for people to join your offer. Okay. So map, you just want to take a look at, like I will do this with my calendar. You can see I have my whiteboard over here, but I will take out my calendar and I will map out for like the next 2 to 4 weeks. What is my intention? What is my focus when it comes to sales? I recommend doing this every week, especially if your focus right now is sales. Like if you're like, yes, I want the sales, I need the sales, I want to help clients, do this, because without focus, it's going to be really hard for you to like bring in that sales and bring in that income. Okay. And if all of this is making sense and you guys are following with me, just drop a 1 in the comments. So that way I know you guys are following. So after map, the second M that you want to focus on, and I know a lot of you guys are going to have questions on this one, is marketing. Okay. So when I look at marketing, this is basically content. Okay. This is content. So a few things you want to ask yourself is, number 1, how consistent are you being with marketing your offer? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I'm so fucking consistent, 1 being not so much, let me know in the chat, how consistent are you being when it comes to actually selling your offer? Because if you're only selling it once a week, like no wonder you don't have sales coming in. And for me, my context when it comes to selling every single day or like making an offer, it doesn't always have to be buy my offer, but it can be like selling something like free, like getting people into a free masterclass, a free training, a free freebie, a free workshop, something where they can build more trust with you to get to that next step and actually investing into one of your offers. Okay, so look at, are you actually being consistent when it comes to selling? Second thing, do you need to switch up the way you are actually doing things? Do you need to switch up the way that you are doing things? Now, this is a little bit like what I just talked about. Are you saying and selling the same way that you have been doing for the past like 4 months or like 4 weeks? But this goes beyond just that. People get bored very quickly, especially on social media where there's like a bajillion pieces of content every single moment. If constantly they see you selling the same thing over and over and over again, or talking about the same thing over and over and over again, or even creating content on the same thing over and over and over again, you will lose their attention very quickly. Now, some of you guys might say, well, I believe if people actually want a transformation, they need to hear the same thing over and over and over again, which is very true. But like for me as a consumer, I will stop watching people's stories and I will stop like not actually following them, but I will stop like looking at their posts if it's like extremely repetitive. And what I mean by this is I usually, like, if you look at my content, I say the same thing over and over again, but in different ways. The other day, I made a post saying how I built my business off of demand, not supply. If you look at that post, I basically say the same exact shit that I have said in a lot of my other posts, but I used the topic of demand and supply. All right. So immediately, if someone looks at that, they're like, oh, I haven't ever seen a piece of content that talks about demand and supply in this way. I've only heard it when I went to school. That's different. I'm switching up my marketing. Okay. So think about what are different ways, different topics, different examples, different analogies that you can bring into your content, into your marketing, into the way that you actually sell something to get people's attention again. Okay. Because I will tell you, saying the same thing in the same way over and over again is not going to get your like ideal client closer for you to buy. And I'm going to look at the chat. Marissa, 7, I feel like I sell every day in my stories. Yeah, that's good. And then the last thing when it comes to marketing is, are you actually providing a lot of value? So what I talked about earlier in terms of like the shift that I saw in the market in terms of how people started to buy, I also felt, and coming from me, like I love selling. I love it. I do it every single day. I'm not against it. But at the end of December, the only thing I saw on people's stories was buy my offer. This is what I have to offer. Go buy it. Am I the only one? Let me know. Like it was literally every single post on someone's story was this is my offer, go buy it. And like it was to a point where I didn't even want to watch their stories anymore. So for me, I have always built my business from let me give a lot of value first and people will buy. And I don't believe this is something that you have to do for like years before you can sell. No, like what I just said, I sell every single day, but I also provide value every single day. And I believe value should go beyond just feed content on your profile. It should be doing master classes like this. It should be connecting with your audience through live stream. It should be actually being in the comments and answering questions. For me, the way I built my business and I built my brand, it was literally through connection, and it still is. If I can get someone to feel a certain way when they read my content, when they listen to an interview, when they watch one of my lives, watch one of my master classes, they want to stick around, not just because of what I sell, not just because of the transformation, but because of how I make them feel. I see so many stories every day and posts every day where I'm like, I never want to look at your stuff because all you're doing is selling. A lot of people forget that there's new people coming into your world, new people coming in every single day. Yes, you should be selling every single day to your current audience because they know you and you have to nurture them to get them to actually buying. But what about the people that are just coming in? If they only see you selling all the damn time, there is no other substance. So if you like, just ask yourself this, like bring awareness, are you providing enough value right now? And this, like, once again, this doesn't mean like go do a masterclass every fucking week. You don't have to do that. But I'm saying this can even be providing even more value in your content. Are you fucking gatekeeping everything? Like fucking shit, give it all away. If you watch all my master classes, you would be a bajillionaire right now. But most people will not implement until they actually pay money. That's just how it is. So don't be afraid to give everything and more in your content, because people pay for support, they pay for structure, they pay for accountability. Yes, they pay for information, but usually they will pay for like access and energy and structure and accountability. So keep that in mind. And then the last thing that I want to get into is messaging. So when it comes to sales strategy, yes, we have the map. Yes, we have marketing. And then the last thing is messaging. Now, this is where we're going to get interactive because I want to help you guys in real time with your messaging. Okay, so like what I said, saying the same thing over and over again is not going to help you get more sales. And if you don't even have a clear message for what you're selling with your offer, of course, not people, like people aren't going to buy. So let me know in the comments. I want to just respond to comments right now for the next like 10 minutes is what are you selling right now and how are you selling it? Like, let me know in the comments, 1 or 2 sentences. What are you selling and what would be the messaging that you used to sell? Okay. Like, how are you selling it right now? And as you guys comment, I'm going to look at the comments. Dominique, oh, wow. I normally talk about a pain point and how I solve it. I tell my story. Yeah. Yeah. And I always love telling stories. I lead with stories because when you can paint a picture in your audience's mind, they will, first of all, keep watching, keep reading, keep listening, but they can instantly see that connection with you. Okay. I'm going to take a sip. Now, as I wait to see some comments coming in, one thing that I say when it comes to messaging is, you guys have maybe heard this before if you've been to one of my master classes, is the couch scenario. Okay. This is called the couch scenario. This is how I come up with all my messaging. Imagine yourself sitting on the couch with your bestie or your kid or your partner or your mom, your dad, your sibling. Just think of you sitting on the couch with someone that you just love, so comfortable with. If you were talking about your offer to them, what would you say? Take that and put it into your messaging. That is literally the simplest and easiest way to come up with your messaging, because I guarantee you would not be on that couch telling your best friend, are you experiencing low self-esteem every single day? Are you anxious the minute that you wake up? Well, I'm going to show you the perfect scenario and example by this 4-step process. And I'm just laughing because yes, you can use that language and you can use that verbiage. I have probably used that verbiage before, but there is no real connection. There is no real connection to the transformation that you're helping somebody with. Okay. So let me look, Marilisa, detox protocols touching on specific symptoms and pain points, how their life would be like after working with me, follow my program. Are you looking for more specific? So this is great. Now, I'm just going to rip this apart because I'm sure you have, of course, something specific that you say when it comes to messaging, but detox protocols. I'm assuming you are targeting someone who feels like shit every single day, is bloated when they look at themselves in the mirror, is literally tired at 1 p.m. when they shouldn't be. And maybe they get brain fog when they're in conversation with somebody. What I just described is exactly what you want to put in your messaging. And then talk about what are the things people need to adjust in order to get to what I say, destination land. So detox protocols, I don't know if you're using that in your messaging right now. You can continue using it, but I wouldn't focus on talking about you need a, and once again, I don't know what you're saying in your messaging or in your content, but if you're focusing a lot on detox your body, detox your body, detox your body, this is a way to detox your body. People might not know what detox means, and I'm sure you're educating them, but if you're not, definitely educate them. B, or number 2, I don't know what I said. You want to focus on more about what happens after someone does the detox. What would they experience throughout the entire day? What would happen if for 3 days, and I don't know what type of detox you're talking about, but for 3 days, they're on a juice cleanse. I would love to know how I would feel for like the first hour, the first like 5 hours, the first day, then waking up the next morning. Like, what would actually happen? Or would I feel the exact same way because it takes maybe 2 or 4 weeks for that to transform? And this, like, what I'm basically saying is all of the questions that I would have as a potential consumer. How do I know like detoxes are right for me? Because also there might be like a really bad rep in the industry for detoxes. So everything that I am sharing is basically touching on what someone would experience in their day-to-day life down to like the detail. This can also be talking through experience, because I'm sure, of course, you've done it. You've had clients who have done it. But through experience and through story, like share that story and then take those lessons and just literally invite people into the program. Like, you don't even have to say, this is my detox program. In this 4-week program, you're going to learn how to do X, Y, and Z. Like, I wouldn't even talk about that. Like, yes, you can have slides that talk about that every so often, but I would make invitations, actually. Like, if you're experiencing this, I will see you inside my program. This is what I call kind of like soft selling, where yes, you're selling, but it's in a way where people like they want to reach out to you. Like, this is basically attraction marketing. This is what I do with like my content specifically. But like, make it so if someone comes across your post, someone comes across your content, your profile, your story, they're like, oh, I need to experience this like now, because A, she keeps talking about it in all of these different ways. B, I can actually see myself doing it. You also want to like illustrate the actual actions someone would be taking and making, but also they feel comfortable investing into you. I just finished up a 20-page document, a freebie that I'm going to be like, using to get more traffic, specifically focus on TikTok, but of course I'll share it with you guys too, that focuses on the content to create to bring more people into like your world. What I focus on and what I touched on is you want to make 2 connections with your audience: likability and compatibility. So likability is basically like you want to make a connection where people actually like you first, so they continue watching your stuff, whether that's through your personality, whether that's through your interests, whether that is through the way that you teach, the way that you speak. Like, you have to have some likability in it. And once again, this doesn't happen if you talk about your offers over and over again. It more or less, I'm not just talking to you right now, I'm talking to like everybody. And then the second thing is compatibility. People probably only think about compatibility when it comes to intimate relationships. This is a very big thing when it comes to mentorships and coaches. People want to feel understood. They want to feel like they will get the attention they need. They want to feel supported. They want to feel like the coach I'm about to invest into, like, they get it. They want to feel like they literally are going to be a part of your family, depending on how your brand is. So every time I post a piece of content, because once again, like, content is the vehicle for you to get more sales, ask yourself, does this make me more likable? And does this develop more compatibility with the potential client who is going to invest into my program? And that on its own will give you ideas of how to speak more properly to your ideal client. Now I'll answer one more, and then I want to get into like the simple strategy that I recommend everybody to do when it comes to increasing your sales. And then the last piece I want to touch on is energetics and leadership. And this is probably going to be the very best part of this masterclass, because when I talk about energy, leadership, power, things pop off. Okay. So, Lindsay, I have a personal brand course that's designed to teach someone how to create, launch, and monetize a personal brand in 30 days so they can get paid to be them rather than selling their time. Okay. So personal brand course, learn how to create, launch, and monetize a personal brand. I would think about 3 outcomes that your ideal client is like on the floor dying to have right now. So in my mind, and I don't know who your ideal client is, but my mind immediately goes to someone who is new, who sees all these people on social media having a massive following, making a lot of money, and they want to do it too. One of the things that I would focus on is, do you want to be the next brand, the next creator that people are talking about on their own profiles because you literally just popped off overnight? That messaging hits me emotionally because everybody wants that type of visibility, that type of like scene. They want to be the next creator everybody is talking about. It's like when Alex Earl popped off on TikTok, I saw like every other video was a video about her. Massive personal brand. That's one thing you can touch on. Another thing, because you said create, launch, and monetize. You can touch on, because I'm sure you're going to be talking about like how to create content, build an audience. I would focus on talking about how you're actually going to be able to show up on video every single day without feeling like it's work. Because when it comes to personal branding, you literally are only sharing your thoughts, messages, and lessons that like come through in your mind. And I'm going to show you how to do it where it doesn't feel like you have to sit there for hours with an Excel sheet mapping out your content. How to actually be someone who can literally talk to the camera without thinking about it. Because that's what everybody wants. They don't want to sit there in front of an Excel sheet and map out 35 pieces of content, then try to record it, but it sounds super fucking scripted and it backfires them. They don't want to do that. So what I'm getting at is like, get into the actual mind of your ideal client. Think about it. And odds are probably like 75 to 80 to 90% of you guys were your ideal client a few years ago. So go back to where you were at and think about all of the things that you would think about. Like, what were the things that were scary for you? What were the things that you just like absolutely loved? Okay. And talk about that. Now, I'm going to shift a little bit because we're almost at the hour and I don't want to go too long, but those are like the 3 M's that you want to focus on when it comes to sales strategy. Look at the map. If you don't have a strategy with like your sales process, you're kind of just winging it every single day. Put down like a real map, like an intention, a strategy, a focus that you're going to have every single week. Second thing is marketing. Kick up your content another notch. Don't just create the same thing over and over and over again. Look for topics, analogies, stories, experiences, trends that you can incorporate with your content to attract more people onto your posts and into your offers. And then the last thing is messaging. I just talked about it for like the past 15 minutes, but don't just list out, this is what you're going to learn step by step. Get into the actual mind and literally talk it out. Get on live and talk it out, because that is how people are actually going to connect and be like, oh, I need to be a part of this. Okay. So simple strategy that I do that you guys can do and implement right away is 2-week launch strategy, or like focus on getting more sales. 1 week, like if you look at it, like week 1 and week 2, this is what I want you to do. First of all, think of an intention and a topic or a focus that you are going to use to sell the offer. This can be like a new theme, a new topic that you're adding in. This can be a bonus. This can be a price increase. This can be more support. This can just be like a story, something that you experienced. Like, what is the thing that you are going to focus on to sell the offer? start to talk about that like Monday, Tuesday, first week. On Wednesday, drop a free masterclass that you're going to be doing in week 2. That kind of coincides with the offer that you're selling. And I want you to do this without the intention of you getting clients from that masterclass. Now, the reason why I say this is if you put your focus and intention on filling that masterclass to only make sales, you will not make sales. Of course, you're going to make sales because that's how it works. If people spend more time with you, they get to learn how fucking amazing you are. They're going to want to buy what you have to sell. But if you go into it with a lack and scarcity mindset of like, oh, I only need to sell this masterclass or fill this masterclass to sell my offer, it's going to backfire. Okay. So do it from a place of, I'm going to provide so much fucking value because I want to. And at the end, I will invite people into my offer and people will join. But even if they don't, I don't care, because that is still allowing me to nurture my audience. Every time I do something in my business, whether it's content, masterclasses, trainings, freebies, interviews, anything, I don't need an outcome right away, because I know every single thing that I'm doing is helping me grow my business and my brand. Every single thing. There's not a thing that I don't do that doesn't help me build my brand. And then in week 2, do the masterclass and then invite people into your program. It's literally that simple. And just do this over and over and over again. Marlissa, are you talking about your offer in this masterclass? Yeah, so at the end, I'm going to talk about monetized social membership. I talk about my offers almost every single time I go live. And the reason why I do this is because I don't have like a structured way that I sell my offers. I just talk about it because I know there are people right now that are watching that are wondering what I have to offer. So for me, I'm not like, I also don't do master classes where I'm like, I'm only going to provide value. I'm not going to sell, because selling is not bad. Once again, I don't want you guys to mix this up. Like, selling is not bad. Like, you want to sell every single day, but it's like, I don't have, like, it's not like, oh, you're in this master class and after that I'm going to sell you. Like, it's not that. Like, I could have sold like the first 5 minutes. Sometimes I will go live and for the first 10 minutes, I will sell my offer. And then for the rest, it's just value, right? So it's not about like whether you should or shouldn't, because I believe every single person who watches my master classes, my lives, my trainings, my content, they want to know what I'm selling, whether they buy or not, because I'm not forcing anybody to buy anything, right? But like, I like to share what is happening and what people can join. Like, for the first, 5 minutes, I already talked about one of my offers, or like I'm doing an event and I'm just so fucking excited for it. I talked about it in like the first 5 minutes of this masterclass, if you guys caught it. Like, I'm just so excited about it. So yes, like I do recommend talking about like your offers in every single one, but once again, it doesn't have to be like a hard structured like webinar type of selling. So that's what I would recommend doing as like a simple sales process and strategy. Okay. Now, for the next 10 minutes, I want to focus on probably the most important thing that is going to help you amplify your sales. Okay. The most important thing that is going to help you amplify your sales, get out of your sales dip, wherever you're at right now, is the energetics, the leadership, and basically staying power when you are doing everything in your power to get clients, to make sales, to get money into your business, but it's not working, or it's not happening quite yet, or it's happening slow and you want it to happen faster. There's so much I want to say when it comes to this. I adopted this mindset a long time ago, before I ever even had a business, was everything always works out for me because I make it work. Everything always works out for me because I make it work. if you genuinely, like, I want you guys to sit here and think about, why wouldn't it not work? Like, why wouldn't it work for you? Why wouldn't it? If every day you focus on mastering your craft, refining it, selling every single day without wavering what it is that you're doing, like, why wouldn't it work? And I'm sure everything that you guys have done up until this point, you have had the thought that it might not work for me, but then it does. Let me know in the chat if you've experienced this. You had the thought like, oh, it might not work, but then it does. Could you imagine what would have happened if you didn't stay in your power and your leadership and actually made it work for you? You wouldn't be where you're at right now. You wouldn't. Because I believe sales and selling, once again, is your energy. And I'm not saying you have to be high vibe all the time in order to receive. That is not what I'm saying. But the minute you start to doubt your ability to actually make it work for you is the minute you start to repel money. And the reason why is because of the doubts, of the fears, of you scrolling on social media, of you looking at the past of how it may have not worked, that is hindering your success now to actually make it work for you. Like, maybe you are watching this live right now or on this replay, and you're like, because I know some of you guys will have the fucking biggest breakthrough right now in this moment. And some of you guys will be like, okay, I've heard this before, but it's still not working. Are you actually staying in your fucking power? Are you? Because I bet a lot of you guys aren't. And you can cry and you can be upset and you can have down days, because I still do too. But in the midst of all of that, I still have 100% conviction that I make it fucking work. Every single time it works. And this isn't just like a fluffy, cute saying that I say, but it's like, it's true. And when I talk about this, like, I get so like deep into my feelings about this, because every single thing that I have done in my business, in my life, in my brand, it came from pure conviction. It didn't come from strategy. And I talked about this before. If you guys watch Empire Creator Live Show that I do every single Monday morning in this group at 11 a.m. Eastern, I talked about all of the milestones that I did before I ever even had a business that I shouldn't have done, but it happened because I am the type of person who makes it happen. Literally, I'm the type of person who makes it happen. Sales are low. Okay, let me fucking figure it out. Let me get in front of more people. Let me talk to my audience more. Let me actually figure out a different way to sell. Most people, they just stop. They're like, oh, it didn't work. I'm sad. You can be sad. Like I tell this to Andy all the time. I will cry, but I'll still fucking make it work. It's not about having thick skin and not feeling emotion. It's about feeling the emotion, but still doing it. I believe this is where like true entrepreneurs actually show up. Did we forget that we're actually entrepreneurs? Because if you're building a business, you best be fucking ready. Because I was just on an interview earlier today and we talked about this. Entrepreneurship is a personal development course that you didn't sign up for, but it's the best thing ever, because you will become the most powerful, resilient person that you have ever fucking met in your life. I will look at myself in the mirror and be like, bitch, you're fucking amazing because you make shit happen. The other day, one of my videos on TikTok went viral, over 300,000 views. It's at like 360,000 views now. Over half of the comments were making fun of my voice, because I have like at the end of like my words. That's how I speak. I've always spoken like that. Over half of the comments made fun of me. And I looked at it and I smiled, because I have spoken on stages in front of hundreds of people. I have done not one, two TEDx talks. before. And I got those before I ever had experience speaking. Why? Because I was the best at speaking? Absolutely fucking not. Because I was already a professional speaker? Absolutely not. Because I had the most amazing story? Absolutely not. I made it happen because I wanted to. I believe every single one of you guys that are watching this, you're here right now because you're fucking here to unlock your power to go make shit happen. Like literally, you are here to go make shit happen. I'm fucking crazy. I am crazy. I am crazy. I'm the first to say I'm crazy because I am so connected to what I'm creating, not because of the money, not because of the fame, not because of the success, but because I see so many people who have so much power, but they are blocked from their capability to go actually make it happen. There are so many people who look up to you guys that you don't even know it. So many people who look at your stories every day, who look at your content every single day and are like, oh my goodness, I wish I had her life. I wish I had his life. If you thought about those people every single morning when you wake up, I bet your ass that you would show up in a much more different way. But right now, you're only focused on the lack of sales, or you only focused on that you're not a millionaire yet. This work brings me to tears because the other day I was making a video and I was posting on TikTok and I said, like, the reason why I'm so passionate about the work that I do. Yes, I help people grow their social media. Yes, I help them build their business. Yes, I help them make more money. But the reason why I actually do it is because quality of life is increased. Quality of life is increased when I do the work and it impacts millions. Because I believe if someone is able to build a business, to share their story, to build community, to impact people, to actually live in their power, I genuinely believe like their anxiety goes away, their depression goes away, the lack of finances goes away. They no longer have to cry themselves to sleep every single night, because that was me. That was me 4 years ago. I did all of that and more. So for you guys to show up and only focus on selling your product, you are doing a disgrace for yourself and the people who actually need you in their life. So I don't want you guys to look at sales as another strategy that you have to do in your business. I don't want you guys to look at sales as, what do I need to say today in order to get a client? I don't want you guys to look at sales as something that is just numbers in your business. I want you guys to look at sales like your entire fucking life work. How do I post on social media every single day? How do I sell every single day? How do I do it? How? Because of this, because I'm so fucking connected. Like I do it no matter what. There is no other option. There is no other option. Like, what else am I going to do? Like for me, I get anxiety. I get anxiety when I am not living up to my power. When I don't do things like this, I get anxiety. Not because of sales, but I do it because I'm like, oh, there's so much in here that I want to share. As you guys can see, there's so much in here that I want to share. And I know if I share it, people's lives are going to change. So I just like went on a tangent, but a few practices that I do that keeps me in this like mentality to just fucking receive, to give and receive, is gratitude, movement, high frequency, and strengthening my relationship with receiving and money. Gratitude, movement, high frequency. And when I say high frequency, it's like meditating, visualizing, listening to podcast shows, and strengthening my relationship with money. Guys, money is not real. It's not real. If there's one thing that you guys take away from here, or even if you knew this, but you need to fucking embed into your head, more money is not real. It's not real. It's not real. Stop chasing it. It's not real. It's not real. It's not. What is real is the energy. What is real is the value, is the worth. So instead of chasing money, instead of chasing clients, chase your fucking self. Chase your value and your worth. A lot of people, if I pull up the energy vibration map, a lot of people are vibrating down here. Down here. Let me actually show you guys, so you guys can actually see it. Because I have literally dove so deep into understanding energy, frequency, law of attraction. Let me show you guys, because this is what it looks like. Okay. So this is basically the frequency of energy. All right. Most people, they're vibrating right over here. All right. In fear, anger, grief, guilt, shame. Very low consciousness, very low energy. Money vibrates up here. Peace, love, joy, enlightenment, if I can say that word, acceptance, gratitude, vibrates up here. If you're placing all of your intention on chasing something that is not real, no wonder you feel grief, apathy, shame, anxiety, anger, because you are chasing something that is not even real. Like, if you guys want your mind to be blown, you are chasing something that is not even fucking real. No wonder you feel anxious. That's why. But if you actually focus on your joy, your worthiness, your peace, your gratitude, you suddenly become literally a match to money. And this isn't something that's like woo-woo spirituality. This is like literally legit real. It's real, because this is quantum physics, and this is true. Like, this is how particles are made, and this is energy. So in order for you to stay in that practice of receiving, like, do the things that make you feel like genuinely grounded and genuinely good. Make you like do the things that make you feel good, guys. Okay. So let me look at the chat, because I see we have comments just flowing in. Lindsay, I resonate with this. Yes, Dominique. Yes, people have told me to figure it out. That brought out conviction for me. You're amazing. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm tearing up on the fairy listening. Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm so like, this is why like I love doing these like pop-up masterclasses, because this is where it's like I'm just so in the zone and everything flows. Amazing. Loved everything you shared. I've been running the whole time listening to this, letting it seep into my cells. Oh my God, Lindsay, that's like perfect, because what I just said, movement that helps you receive more. One thing that I love doing is I love dancing, and something that I'm focusing more on is movement and manifestation, like dancing and manifesting, like really feeling it into my body, because I realize when I literally move, my frequency goes like way the hell up here. It is amazing. This has been amazing. I'm so happy. Money isn't real. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it all. So I want to wrap this up, but before you guys jump off, this is like the last thing that I want to say. Okay, so last thing that I want to say. Sales is a direct correlation of the focus and health on your relationship with it. Sales is a direct correlation. Well, not even sales. Money is a direct correlation of your focus and health with it. When I say focus and health, focus, is there strategy? Is there marketing? Is there messaging? Like, are you refining? Are you actually doing the actions to make you sales, make you more money? And then health, how do you actually feel about it? How are you feeling about yourself? Do you actually believe you can make it happen? Like why isn't people can make millions doing the exact same thing that you're doing, but you're not? It's not because they're different, not because they're better. but because they have tapped into a higher frequency and a better health that they maintain every single day, every day. Do something. If this is something that's not a part of your routine, add it in or amplify it. Do something every single day that improves the health of you and money. And I love talking about this because we're wrapping up March, but the entire month of March, my theme in my membership, Monetize Social membership, was money mindset. Every single day, a different action item to strengthen your relationship with money. And that helps you stay in basically an energy of like receiving. So yeah, money is a direct correlation with your health. I'm running a free masterclass, Move to Manifest. Oh my gosh, I love that. So before I wrap this up, first of all, any questions? I know we're over, but if you guys have any last minute questions about anything I covered, about anything around sales that you want me to just talk on quickly, comment below and let me know. What I want you guys to take away from this masterclass and go implement right now is, first of all, like the strategy, like all the tangible things I talked about. If you're not doing it, go do it. If you need to re-listen to this, I recommend re-listening to it, writing it all down and going to do it. Second thing is, I want you to take away like this. I want you to take this away. A lot of you guys have been in my master classes, workshops, trainings before, but the way that I spoke on leadership, energy, staying power was different today. And because I have tapped more into like my purpose of like receiving, of my energy of receiving. So focus on this. And when I say this, how can you even get more connected to your work? Because when you're so connected to your work, you don't ask yourself, once again, what do I need to say today? What do I need to sell today? How do I sell? But how? How? Like, that's no longer a question because you're so connected to your purpose, you know how. Okay. So that is all I have for you guys. Before I jump off, I do want to talk about Monetize Social membership, since I have talked about it throughout this masterclass. This is basically where my heart is right now. I launched this membership like 3 months ago, 4 months ago. And the reason why I launched it was because of a lot of what I talked about today, but I saw so many people trying to find the perfect strategy, trying to find like the key to building the audience and like making money every single day. When in reality, it's the basic fucking actions. It's like I say, basic actions lead to daily transactions. So every single week in this membership, I give you weekly and daily action steps that helps you grow your social media and sign on clients every single day. You get access to a separate community where if you need support, you can go there for support. But every month there's a different theme. And what I'm so excited about in April is content. And I named it Celebrity Content That Converts. Within the past 4 weeks, my content has blown up. It has been seen by hundreds of thousands of people a week. A week. I literally grew over 3,000 followers in a week on TikTok because one of my content pieces blew up. Every single day, people are messaging me, asking how they can work with me. So if you have attended one of my trainings or past programs on content, just be fucking ready, because I am teaching content in a way that I've never taught it before. And I'm focusing on a lot of what I talked about today, actually, how to create content from a place of it feels really natural for you to create. Like it's not curated, but it's still like there is the analogies, there is the topic, there is the stories, there is the experience. It's like, wow, I'm fucking good when it comes to creating content. Second thing that I'm going to touch on is the diversity when it comes to creating content. Okay, so previously when I taught content, I'm like, okay, do this framework and post on all your social media platforms. I'm teaching specifics on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook in my membership next month. Okay. And as you guys know, if your content and the messaging in your content is not speaking to the right person, then lack of sales or sales gets plateaued. Okay. So the entire focus for April in the membership is celebrity content that converts. You're a fucking celebrity. You are. Whether you're just starting or you're already a business owner, you're a celebrity. Okay. So if you want to be in this membership, send me a DM. I will get you the link. It's $49 a month to join, or you can join for the year for $450, or you can join for 6 months. And I believe that's like $250. Okay. So you know where to find me if you want to be a part of the membership. And the last thing that I'll also say is, honestly, I haven't really mentioned this anywhere else before, but I feel so called to share it with you guys right now. I have a really big vision for this membership, a very big vision. It's like my entire focus has been on this membership because what I just talked about on today's masterclass, when I said I'm helping people create like a better life, I'm helping people genuinely feel happy in what they're creating, feel so connected to their work where it doesn't even feel like work. I am taking this into the membership. So things that are upcoming in the membership, I'm talking about, of course, more leadership, but I am also talking about things that people are not even doing in the industry, like higher level collaborations, media features, which is really exciting, something that I used to do all the time starting out. The other thing that I'm going to be touching on is my practice when it comes to visualization and manifestation. I have been a business coach for about 3 years now. I have always touched on attraction marketing and attraction, but I have never really dove deep into manifestation and visualization until the other fucking day. I was sitting there and I'm like, holy shit. Like everything that I've done is through visualization, manifestation. What a lot of people may be like skipping out on or not doing. So I'm ranting right now, but I'm just so passionate about this because this is where you want to be if you want to learn, if you want to be in a community, if you want to just be in this fucking energy to grow and scale. So the membership, that is the place to be. So if you guys want the link for that, send me a DM and I will get you the link. Hadi, good to see you on here. Is there a replay for this? Yes, it will stay in this group. I will put it into the guide section. So if you're just tuning in and you want to catch the replay, you guys can catch that. Okay. Before I jump off, and I know some of you guys already jumped off, can you just do me a favor? Let me know in the comments, what was your biggest takeaway for you and how did you feel during this masterclass? What was the biggest takeaway for you and how did you feel during this masterclass? The reason why I want you guys to say this is because I genuinely want to know what stuck for you, but I also want to post it on my stories. I'm so transparent. I want to post on my stories because I believe what I shared in this masterclass is really going to help a lot of people shift their perspective when it comes to sales. So whether it's a one-liner, 2 sentences, 3 sentences, like whatever you guys want to share, like share it. Okay. So that is all I have for all of you. If this was one of the first masterclasses, first trainings, videos, whatever that you have been in of mine, you chose a really good one because you got everything. You got a little bit of everything from me. So I'm so happy that you attended this one. Once again, this will stay up in the group. But yeah, like the best place to be is in the membership, like what I talked about too. I am hosting a live event that is happening later this year. Tickets are going to be on sale very, 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 very soon. It'll be happening in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So stay tuned for that. You don't want to miss it. And you just want to be in this group. Okay. I will see you guys next Monday because every Monday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, I do Empire Creator Live Show. And that is the next place that I will see you guys. Okay. Go crush it. Go sell your heart out. Be fucking crazy. Like go out there and just be you. Because when you're you, people can literally feel your energy. Okay. I love you guys so, so much. Make sure that you stay unforgettable and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay. Bye everybody.